All right, so I'm going to show you how to make a 2-point perspective drawing. So the first thing you're going to want to start with is your horizon line. So the horizon line is the line that goes across your paper. It's where your earth and your sky meet. It can also be where the sky and the water touch. So this is just a line that we use to divide our paper. And you want to draw this line very lightly. Then on the end of your line, you're going to create a vanishing point. We're going to call this LVP for left vanishing point, and then we're going to label this one RVP for right vanishing point. In the middle of your paper, you're going to want to make a line vertical that goes straight up and down. Take your ruler, line it up so that your edge is touching the edge of your paper. Start at about the 2 and end at the 10. And that's going to be the front end of your building. Then from there, we're going to connect the bottom of this line to our vanishing point on the left side, and then connect it to the vanishing point on the right side. Do the same thing at the top, connect the top of the line to the right, and then connect the top of the line to the left so that we can get those lines connected to our vanishing points. So you should have a diamond shape in on your drawing paper right now. Next, we want to create our building. So we're going to start by making 3 lines. And again, try to hold this up so that it's to the edge of your paper. That's going to help you keep this straight up and down, and also parallel. So parallel is when lines go like this, but they never touch. So we want these lines to be parallel so that they're never going to touch. If your line looks crooked, that means it's going to eventually touch, and it's not parallel. And it's really important that we keep our lines straight because that's what's going to add to this illusion. We're trying to create the illusion of space and form. So we're really making something look 3-dimensional on a 2D surface. The next thing is to add your alleyway. So if you take your ruler, and you can pick either side, depends how big you want this building. I'm going to use the width of my ruler for this end, and I'm going to make an alley. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So the alley is going to be where I create this 3D illusion, which we'll talk about more in a moment. However, when I get back here, my alley is probably going to need to shrink, because we know that as objects get further away from you, they get smaller. So you could use like 1 finger spacing, pencil spacing, whatever you're comfortable with to figure out your spacing. Okay, so now we're starting to shape our building. The next part is going to be to start to angle these into our opposite vanishing points. This is going to create the illusion of that. It's going to start to make them look like cubes and more 3-dimensional. So our rulers aren't quite long enough, but if you start at the right vanishing point, in this case it is, but once we get out here it won't be. So for this one, it's really easy. I just connect it from the vanishing point to the top of this building, because we know, imagine that this is building 1, this is building 2, and this is building 3, and you do not have to label that. That's just to help you see the buildings. But I'm going to take this line and I'm going to draw it, and I have to stop as soon as I hit that building. And then I'm going to go up and erase this part. So I'm going to repeat that step. Now this is where I might have to slide it. So I have to angle it and kind of eyeball it. So you might have to close your eye and become a pirate for a moment. And you're going to slide it over. Try to just get it angled. You could even use your pencil to help you get it positioned right. I know in a perfect world we'd have better rulers that are longer, but we're going to make these ones work because they're more common. And then you erase that top. So then I need to do the same thing on this side, lining that up to my corner and connecting it. Same thing, so I'm going to eyeball it. Close one eye might help you, and then drag it across to connect it. Then I can erase the top part. And now my buildings are starting to take shape. You do the same thing for the bottom part of your building. And remember, it's connecting to the opposite vanishing point. Now, this won't always be the case. Sometimes it will connect to the same vanishing point. Like when we do our doors and windows, they're going to connect to the right side of the buildings will connect to the right side of the vanishing point. But technically, since we're seeing these alleys at a different perspective, it has to connect to the opposite side. So now we have our buildings blocked in. Okay, I'm going to show you this, how to create your sidewalk, and then I'm going to stop the video there, and this will be the end of part 1. So there will be 2 parts to this video. So we're just finishing up part 1. So when I make my sidewalk, I'm going from my vanishing point because everything vanishes to that point, and I'm just adding a line that touches the bottom of my paper, and I'm doing the same thing over here. So that's touching the bottom of my paper. To create my sidewalk, I'm then going to line my ruler up to the bottom of my buildings, touching my right vanishing point. I'm going to retrace the line that's already there, but I'm going to extend it till it touches the end of my sidewalk. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And then we're just going to stop there. So this is part 1 of our 2-point perspective drawing. If you need any help with anything, just raise your hand and I will be happy to come assist you.